Hello friends, myself Shriran Korde. So now let's start a new topic and that topic is abbreviated as loops. So why do we require such a topic? So it's a topic which is essentially inspired by our day-to-day life. Why? Because in our day-to-day life, you typically require a job or a task to be done multiple times. The examples can be several, like we go to school daily, except holidays. Then we go to movies, we go to movie theaters, then we go to restaurants in case you basically prefer a particular restaurant and you like the food there. So the point I am just trying to make it is it's a repetitive type of thing which is done in our day-to-day life. Another example can be you go to bank and you want to open a bank account. Another XYZ person goes and he or she wants to open an account. Then another ABC person goes, he or she wants to open a bank account. Then another example can be several people who are having bank account, they want to know their account balance and things like that. That means from the perspective of the bank, it's a repetitive job. So if this is the requirement, that means it needs to be fulfilled even at the programming level. Why? Because when you are doing programming, you are actually trying to solve some day-to-day problem or essentially you are providing a software solution. So let's now try to understand how do you solve that problem. So let me now take you to Notepad and let me tell you the ways in which such problem can be solved. So now the question for some of you can be, we have written programs up to now. So what are the limitations? So those programs, those we wrote up to now, basically can be executed only once. They essentially execute sequentially, and in case you want to change its sequence, then you basically make use of decision control like if or if else statements. However, if you want to say identify whether a given number is a prime or whether a given number is a even or odd, or there can be several such examples, then can it do? No, it can't do. Why? Because it executes once and that's it. So to tackle the real requirement of doing a repetitive task, there are three ways to do that when you typically do it in programming languages. So the first way to do is you can have while loop. So it is called as while loop, while with parenthesis. Then you can have do while loop and you can have for with parenthesis. So these are the three ways that one can basically do a repetitive job. Now if I want to do a repetitive job, that means I basically require some conditions to be fulfilled when I write a program. Say for example, if I want to make use of while, then what exactly I am doing? So that means I will require something like a starting position or a start, then I will require something like a end, and then I will require a sort of a check. Why? Because if I start from say value say 10 and I want to end at 100, then I am going to change the value of start over a period. That means I will do it 1, I will do it 2, I will do it 3, like that. That means 10, 11, 12, 13. Or if I just take it very simple way, like if I want to do 1 to 10, I want to count 1 to 10. So I want to do counting. Then what will I do? I will start with 1, I will make it then 2, then I will make it 3. Like that I will keep on going and I will end at 10. That means I start at 1, I basically end at 10. However, when I end, I basically am not incrementing or I am not just like that increasing this value. It should go up to 10 only. That means whenever I am incrementing or whenever I am increasing it, basically it will get checked. So that's where the checking has come. Checking comes into picture. So you basically are going to check. So you have a start value, you have a start value, you basically will do the checking and you have the end value. And when you typically will require, so essentially this will require when you want to do counting, like if you want to run a particular program or when you want to execute a task say 5 times, then you will say okay, I'm going to count 5 up to 5. That can be one example. Or so simple example can be, let's say I want to print numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 on the screen. So up to what? So suppose if I say okay, end at 20, that means I will start at 1, I will end at 20. On the similar lines, I can say that I basically will do it in a reverse way. That means I can start at 20 or I can start at say 10 and then I will go to 1 or I will go to 0 or I will go to 1. That means in the what I am trying to tell you basically is I am trying to tell you two things. One is I go from 1 to say I go from 1 to 10 and then I go like 1, 2, 3, 4, then essentially I will do incrementation of the counting, and if I go from 10 to 1 then I basically will do decrementing of the counting. Why? Because that's my requirement. I want to do a specific job specified number of times. So let's see this in action now first. So let me go to Visual Studio Code and I have kept a file ready, sort of an empty file, and I want to basically print say from 1 to 10. That means as I have told you, we first require a variable which I will say C, and I will say C is a count. I want to count and I want to print the count. So so basically what I should now do is I want to start the count at a particular value. So I will say C is equal to 1. Why? Because that's where I want to count. Then I will make use of while loop. So how does while loop now works? So here now while loop is I will be basically saying okay, end this while loop when basically it is less than 10 or I can say less than equal to 10. And then there is a curly brackets. So that means in the while loop, it is something equivalent the way in which we have up to now studied if statement. So if in bracket there is a condition, so same way while in bracket there is a condition and then there is a program or there is a code that we write in the curly bracket. If it is only one line, then you don't require curly bracket, same way the way in which we have used in if. However, if you have multiple lines, then you basically will require a curly bracket. So suppose if I want to print this count values from 1 to 10, then I will be printing it using here this particular print, and let me just put here n and then I will say C, the value of C. Why? Because I have made C is equal to 1 and then I require to do something more. Why? So let's see how it works. So C is equal to 1, we started at C is equal to 1, then while statement it will encounter, and when it encounters while statement it is going to check whether the value of C is less than 10. So this will get executed to either true or false. So that's what I told you, true or false it will get executed. So it is similar the way in which I have explained to you during if statement. However, it will happen repetitively. So how it will happen repetitively? So now C is equal to 1, yes. So C is less than 10, yes it is less than 10. So it will print C, that means 1 will get printed. Then what I should do? I want to print from 1 to 10. So obviously I require to increment I. By who? By what value? I need to increment by 1 or I require to increment C. So currently I am not using I as a variable because normally people have a habit of using I. So that's why I used I. However, in this code I am using C. So I started C because C I am using it for the counting purpose. So C is equal to C plus 1. That means what will happen? C will become, C was earlier 1. I add 1 to it. So C will become 2. Now is it required that I should do it by increment it by 1? No. I can always increment it by the value that I feel is appropriate as far as this ending condition goes. So this is start value, this is start value, and here I have provided the, let me just put it here by giving some semicolon. So this is the end value check, this is a condition. So here we basically do end value check, and that is why it evaluates so either true or false. Then I increment it. So right now let me just increment it by 1 and that's it. So that's the way the loop complete. So how it will execute? C is equal to 1, C is less than 10, yes it is less than 10, so print C, then you make C is equal to 2, then once again from here it will go back and it will check, okay, is C less than 10, yes, so 2 is less than 10, so it will print 2, then it will become 3, like that 4, 5, 6, 7 up to 10 it will happen. Then when it becomes 10, then 10 plus 1, so it will become 11, it will go back and then it will find C is not less than 10, so it will end. That means the end condition will check, end value will happen and this will become false. So this will become false and then it will come out of the loop and then finally the program will end. So we can simply print here some statement so that it tells you that okay, we are basically out of loop. So when you reach this state place, that means you are out of loop. Okay, so let's now try to see this working. So let me just do the execution of this code. So let me just execute this code. So you will see this out of loop has come. Okay, I need to just for the time being, let me just comment out this. Let me just run this file. Yeah, so you will see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and that there was no space, so that's why we were not able to see that an out of loop was coming. Okay, so here we can now print something. So because there was backslash n and all that I gave, so here we will say completed or something like that. I hope we will be able to see this in the console. Yeah, so it is coming. You will see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now what is happening here, we don't have that much of space. So instead of n, we could have simply used t. Okay, so t means tab. So then we can see it very easily. So it will see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 and then finally the completed has come. Okay, so completed is obviously out of loop. So we could give here backslash n. Okay, now the thing is this basically here what we have done is this is increment. This is increment. Okay. Now many times people use I. They don't like you to use C, so they use I. So people are habituated to using I for loop. I and J are the very favorite variables they use. So basically people will use that. Okay. Now is it mandatory that you increment it by 1? No, you can always increment it by 2, 3 like that. Okay. So let's say I want to increment it with 3. Okay. So I want to increment it by 3. So let me just correct it. Okay. Yeah. So you will see now it has incremented by 3. So what has happened? 1, then it incremented by 3. So you got 4, then you got 7. So 4 plus 3 is 7 and then 7 plus 3 10. So only 4 things or 4 values got printed. Why? Because I was incremented by 3 at a time and that's why you got it. Okay. And then finally the completed came. Now the question is this the way I need to write? No, there is a simpler way to write it. So many people use this shortcut and it is called as post increment. Okay, so we will study that or we will just simply write it. So there is something called as I plus plus. So if I just do I plus plus, so saying I plus plus is same as I is equal to I plus 1. Okay, so I is equal to I plus 1. So obviously when we say I plus plus, then it is going to increment it by 1 and that is typically the requirement. So let me just execute it. So you will see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and then finally it prints completed. So that's the point. Now is completed required? No, not required. It's part of main code. This is the only portion where which is a while loop. Okay. So the way in which we have seen this while loop, where we have used increment on the similar lines, we can basically create a decrement. Okay. So let me just create another file in front of you, and I will copy this, and here I will just paste everything, and this is not required, no need. So we'll start now. So what we can do, we will start with say I is equal to 10. Okay, if you don't want, you can print it, you can start with I is equal to 20. Okay, and then now I want to go from I is equal to 20 to say I want to go till I is equal to only 10. Okay, end value check. So that means I will start with 20 and I want to go till 10. So it is reverse now. So I'm going to print obviously I, and now instead of I plus plus, I'm going to do I minus minus. So it is a decrement. Okay, so this is essentially decrement. So which is same as writing I is equal to I minus 1. Okay, so and then we can have the statement completed if you like that statement. So now let's see, this is a reverse thing and I am decrementing it. Okay, so let me just execute this line now. Yeah, so you will see it started with 20, so 20 was the start value, 19, 18, and it basically reached 10, and then after that it stopped. Okay, and that's why the it came out of this loop, and then it essentially you completed the program. Okay, now is this the only way you should decrement? No, you can always decrement with the value that you like. So suppose if I don't want to decrement it by 1, then I can always write I is equal to I minus say 2. There are shortcut ways, but there is no point in knowing that. People write still there is a shortcut, but it's okay. I is equal to I minus 2. Essentially we are again decrementing it by 2. So this is a decrement by 2. Okay, so let's run it and we will see this 20, 18, 10, 16, 14, 12 and 10. Okay, so obviously people would like to use this way. So we will see it should go from till 0. Now this is 10 to 0. Okay, so that means I want to go till 0. So it's going to print 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 and 0. So that's the way typically the loop works, which is essentially the while loop. Now in the further videos, we will study more on the loops, that is while loop, as well as we will study other loops like do while and for loops. So I hope you basically like this video. Thank you.